What's going on, guys? JFC here. It is Monday today. There were some really interesting things to look at today on the market. The content today was actually very good again, honestly. A lot of different SBCs that we got today. Let's start off looking at the Bore SBC. 5'9" high, only 3-star skills, which kind of sucks. But the stats in this card are actually pretty good. 87 pace, 87 shot with great physicals as well. 89 dribbling, but 95 agility, 91 composure. There's some good things about this card. He's difficult to link though. And the 3-star skills does suck a little bit. But I don't hate it. It's a different player. It reminds me a lot of actually Carlos Tevez. If anyone's played FIFA for a long time, remember Carlos Tevez's cards? They were kind of a lot like that, 5'9"-ish with a lot of high physical stats. Seems like he'd probably be pretty good in game, but yeah, it's okay. Then we got the 85 plus ×3 attackers upgrade, which really just crazy requirements in this thing. 85 rated, 2 above 87, 2 team of the week players also included in this. This is like ridiculous requirements, but with the lack of SBCs that really we can craft into, I can't blame you for doing this. They did also give us the icon upgrade today. Once again, they refreshed it. Well, not refreshed it, but they gave us the same one that we got last time. They made it repeatable 3 times for 6 days. So this made Fodder just explode. Literally explode. We'll talk about that as well in a little bit. But I appreciate them giving us like things to do during Team of the Year to try and upgrade. I wish they gave us more than 3. Just make this honestly just repeatable. Because then no matter how many upgrades you do, you're going to have things to throw in an SBC, right? If you end up crafting Pogba or crafting Mbappe, or now you don't want to craft any more players or whatever, you always have something. Now you'll finish this 3 times in 6 days. And, you can do that really in 3 days. Do 1 every single day. That's not that hard to do, honestly. So kind of wish they give us a little bit more to craft into, give us a repeatable icon upgrade, right? But it looks like they're not going that route. If you guys don't want to deal with trading at all, you guys can go to the link in my description. Go to u7buy.com. They're a fast and very, very reliable coin service. The 5% tax is also covered. You can use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. Thank you to U7Buy for sponsoring the video. Now let's get back to it. And then, of course, today we've got the 584 plus players and the 85 ×3 if you have done all the daily logins. So we're going to get a lot of good fodder today, which is pretty awesome. Make sure you do not forget the daily logins because we want to get, everybody to get their fodder as soon as they possibly can. Now, a lot of interesting things to look at with the market right now. Remember we talked about yesterday, we could be seeing a little bit of a shift here in terms of what EA prioritized on the market, right? We talked about yesterday that, we've seen a lot of really cheap stuff in the market for the past really like year and a half or so. Are they trying to make it a little bit more expensive for the rest of FIFA? It's hard to say, but it looks like they might be doing that. And today we saw some things in packs or not really rise up, and some things in packs or not also fall a lot. A lot of real interesting things to look at here. Let's start with Erling Haaland. Haaland's down to 3.9 million. Remember at one point he was like high 4s, really just like yesterday, 2 days ago. Yeah, he was 5.1 mil on Saturday. I mean, that's like 36 hours ago. The guy was 5.1 mil. He's now 3.9. But then you got guys like Benzema, 2.575. This guy was 1.8 mil at one point. I mean, this card is just seemingly super in demand, and it sucks because he was going to be one of my favorite cards to invest in terms of Team of the Year players. Remember we talked about Lewandowski's graph last year. Lewandowski, I understand he was Bayern Munich and he wasn't quite as good as this Benzema, but at the same time, he's the most affordable attacker, and I was kind of all for that, really. I was super excited to invest in this card at like 1.7, 1.6 million. So I was thinking he dropped down to that point, but he's not dropped down since the first day. It's like a bunch of people packed him on the first day of all the attackers out, and then nobody packed him ever again, and he's super in demand. He's 2.57 now. He's rising up so much, way more than I expected. If you have his Benzema card, I really am at this level of price. Right now is a Sunday sell-off, right? We're definitely seeing that in some parts of the market. We'll talk about that in a sec too. But I'm good this week selling this card. I think that these cards are very expensive. Some of them. The ones that are up right now, very expensive. Karim Benzema. Militao is down in price. So he's one of the guys going down. Let's look at somebody who's going up. Messi. 5.4 million coins for this Lionel Messi card. He was 4 million coins. You guys remember he was 4 million coins like the first and second day he was out? 5.4 million. So he is rising a bunch too. So this top end rise we're seeing, right? Of guys who are 1.5, 2.5 mil plus. I think we're seeing that rise really just because we're seeing a bunch of coin inflation in the market right now. People with that many coins have probably spent FIFA points over the last few days. That's just It just seems like that's probably a pretty decent correlation to make. They're gaining a ton of coins right now. The elite packs in the store are super, super good. With Fodder being up 2 right now, we'll also talk about that in a sec. Getting a guaranteed walkout is crazy right now. It really is crazy. And those packs can have a lot of good stuff in it. And right now we're seeing that inflation hit in certain areas. Now, however, in other areas, we're seeing the market drop like a Sunday sell-off we would see. We talked about Eder Militao earlier. Where is Theo here? Theo's 1.3. That card's going down too. Seems like the defenders are definitely going down more than the attackers right now. You know, Yaya Toure, 539. He was 590 going into this weekend league just like, 36 hours ago or so. You got David Ginola, 1.26. He was like 1.29 also yesterday. There's a little bit of a drop off there. That's kind of like the Sunday sell-off we usually see, right? There's like little minute drops in there to kind of have good buy times, right? And a lot of the cards. But right now, basically, it's the Team of the Year cards. And that's what we're mainly seeing going up. Team of the Year cards and the honorable mention cards seem like they're just going up in price for the most part, right? There's a few exceptions. Now, why do I think that is? Honestly, one reason, there's no pack weight. These guys are not packed. It's just not happening. We are having a full set of weekend league rewards, and we're not seeing a ton of supply in these guys. We're just not seeing it. It's interesting that Erling Haaland is one who's going down 1 million coins. This is the kind of drop I expected, right? Haaland is down literally, 20% or so. A fifth of his cost, he's down right now. Karim Benzema's going up. It's a similar position. Both attackers, good leagues, good links, both very meta, and one's going down, one's going up. It just seems like right now, a lot of these top-end Team of the Years, other than Erling Haaland, partly because he just came out, right? Came out on Friday instead of like being out for that first initial release that Team of the Year had. It seems like they're just not supplied like we thought. They're not supplied like we thought at all. And people are getting a ton of coins right now. So you add those two things together, they're very in demand, the best cards in the game, hyped up, all of them are meta, plus no supply and a lot of coin injection equals this what we're seeing right now. And I think for the other parts of the market, it's doing exactly like I thought it was going to. Mbappe's down, even though he's out of packs. A lot of these cards, like the Yaya we talked about, the Antoine Griezmann, the Brolin card right here, they're going down a little bit in price because of a Sunday kind of sell-off. That's kind of what we're expecting to see. So what I would do is if you don't want to buy a Team of the Year, if you do not want to buy a Team of the Year in your team, I think now's not a bad time. I think we should see the market continue to rise for a lot of these cards. If you want to buy a Team of the Year, I still actually think right now, when are you going to have a better time? Unless they release some sort of special pack in the store with way higher weight, or you're a believer of the theory that as the week goes on, they get easier to pack. I'm not necessarily a believer in that, but if you are, then yes, that could drop the price too. Other than that, what's dropping these prices? We got division rivals rewards, but 70% of people, 75% of people take the untradables, so that doesn't really add a ton of supply anymore. Like, now doesn't seem like the worst time, even though like a lot of them are going up. But it does make me nervous to buy cards that are going up in price at any time, even though the factors kind of make sense of the lack of supply plus the demand, and they're very meta. It still makes me a little bit nervous. I would just, if you want Team of the Years, really, what I think you should do is build a great team right now without the Team of the Years. You can even throw in honorable mentions, get some heroes, get some Team of the Year icons if you want to, get some regular icons, build a sick team and wait for that first Team of the Year crash, right? If we go ahead, let's actually do that. Let's look at Team of the Year Lewandowski's price from last year. So here we go. What's our date here? I think we're looking at right here, Sunday the 30th. And this Monday the 31st would be like today, right? Right around 1 million coins, 929 it says there. Then we get that big rise coming up over the course of this week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, there's that big rise there. Thursday, he's up to almost 1 million coins again. But then as time goes on, he just goes down. He literally just goes down. It was all the way down to 630K by the 14th of February. That's 2 weeks from now. So this is the trend of Team of the Years that we usually see, right? See this big drop right away because they just get supplied more, right? That's just simple. All cards that come into the game look like this. Then they reach that sort of bottom point and they rise back up with all the coin injection, the in-demandness of these Team of the Year cards. Then future stars come. They start to lose their hype just a little bit, which then creates just a downward spiral, and they just go down again, really, until they hit that next floor that they kind of stay at for a long time. Lewandowski stayed at this floor here at 640. All the way really until April. I mean, that's so long, from February to April. Then like the Team of the Season crash kind of went down again. So yeah, if you want to buy Team of the Years, really, I personally I'm fine waiting. If you can wait, I honestly think that's not a bad idea. I think these guys have so much room to fall. I understand this year's different than last year in terms of like the amount of coins people have. So I'm not suggesting, especially because Benzema's a better card than Lua, I'm not suggesting Benzema's going to be 1 million coins in 2 weeks. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am suggesting is in a week's time from now, Benzema, in my opinion, is not going to be this expensive. So if you're fine waiting, I've kind of changed my tune a little bit because I just didn't expect them to be this expensive. I think if you want to buy now, flip them in a couple days. That's not a bad idea. I think you could definitely do that. Something a little bit on the lower end, maybe a Luka Modric, wherever he is on here, a Van Dijk maybe. You could try and flip in a couple days. But yeah, for buying now, other than that, I think that it's just tough for me to recommend it. I wish I could, and I wish I could give you better advice, really, but there just seems to be, they're just so expensive that it's hard for me to recommend buying anybody. Fodder, though, went just absolutely insane today. Literally went insane. If you had anything, it rose up so much. It really is insane. If you bought 86s yesterday, like we talked about doing, if you club stocked, you're looking at 5K a card, or a little bit less than 5K, like 4.5, 5K a card. Crazy profit there. 84s didn't go up a ton, so you didn't like a great profit there. We ended up seeing actually 87s and 88s went up even further. 87s were the real risers here. I can't say I expected it too much because they were already up just a little bit. I didn't hate 87s, didn't love them, but I did not expect the icon pack to be repeatable 3 times. That's a crazy amount of times that we've not seen all year. That's gonna cause Fodder to rise up so much. If you had told me there's any icon SBC, whether it was worth it or not, will come out and it'd be repeatable 3 different times, yeah, all of Fodder is going to rise, and it did. 89s are just kind of staying the same. 42, 43,000. 90s the same, and 91s the same. 91s are actually down a little bit. I would still recommend, I personally would probably sell now if you haven't sold yet. I think I talked about selling at the peak of about 75,000 earlier, and I think it was probably a pretty good idea, and now they're down a little bit more. So I'd probably sell. As long as they're above 70K, I think it's just such good profit that why not take it? So the buy window is pretty much gone at this point. I'm not really, like, I think the only fodder you could buy right now are 83s and 84s, really. I think 84s still could go up. They really could. This gap here is 10,000 coins. If any pack comes out where 84s are required really at all, that's pretty high potential because, you know, we have the 85 times 3s. We could see an 83.5. It was just random shit we could see where 84 rated could be required, and that could cause them to rise. That's the only rating I really like right now is 84s. Other than that, I think sell your fodder if you have it, and I think that we'll look at buying later, just not right now. It's a selling point on fodder. Reminder, Jorginho still supposed to come. We don't know when, but it doesn't look very good if those are the face stats. I don't think we're gonna see fodder rise in any meaningful way at all. Hopefully those stats are a little bit better than what they suggest there. We do have an interesting leak. In Future Stars swaps, we have Coutinho. They might be asking, you know, why is Coutinho in Future Stars swaps? This is apparently just like a moments card. That's not like indicative of anything in terms of Future Stars. It's just like a reward from the swaps, right? So Coutinho is supposed to be a reward from the swaps. Now this card could be really, really good, honestly. A 5-star skill Premier League cam Brazilian. That could be really good. I'm assuming it'll be a lot of tokens though. It'll probably end up being better off with like the fodder packs, of course. But it's not bad. That's not a bad player to get. And also, all Team of the Year icons are just back in packs. I don't know what happened. Why did they go out of packs in the first place? I literally have no idea, but Team of the Year icons are back. So, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what EA were thinking with that, but more things to pack, more things to not pack, more like, huh. So yeah, Future Stars, next promo. These are the kinds of cards we could see. Future Stars has juiced cards, and this is one of the reasons that Team of the Years go very high right away. And then when Future Stars start to become a little bit more affordable, that's another one of the reasons why Team of the Years kind of fall out from underneath themselves. Like Musiala is going to be so good. He's going to be Team of the Year level. You know, Future Stars last year wasn't quite as good as a few years before that. A few years before that, we were seeing cards like Team of the Year levels. Remember that Fati card? Future Stars Ansu Fati was literally like a Team of the Year attacker. I mean, some of these guys are so insane. The Enzo Fernandez there, you know, I don't think it's gonna be this juiced. 88, like 86 shooting being his worst stat. I don't think it's gonna be that juiced, but the point still stands. They're very juiced cards. The card design's sick. That's gonna draw a lot of hype. There's a lot of things to look at right now. A lot of things to be prepared for. So guys, once again, I know I asked this yesterday. Have you guys packed anything? Have you guys packed anything between yesterday and today? I'm not packing shit, all right? I'm not packing shit. At least when I hear you guys pack something, it makes me a little bit happy. Because I know a lot of you guys in here are not necessarily huge money spenders, right? You guys deserve it, right? You guys definitely deserve it. You're grinders, most of you, who put a lot of time into the game, and you deserve to get good stuff. Let me know who you guys get, because yeah, I don't want to talk about my pulse, all right? I don't want to talk about it. I love y'all. See you next video very, very soon. Peace.